Well, alright then. Let's see what hell sent me this time. Oh, some commentary material? I got nothing better to do except to go through my browsing history, which is a very dark place. But anyways, roll the intro.
I just want to say before the video starts that this is going to be very long and I'm going to be rambling a lot about very specific things and just in general ranting. I mean,
well, have you ever heard of a script then?
It's ranting. So without further ado, let's get into this, and I'm just going to say right now, sorry for my accent.
Yeah, this is filler. Come on, let's get on with the show already.
Hey, boss.
Hey guys, my name is Kitty Kitty, otherwise known as Tokiva on DeviantArt, and today I would like to discuss with you guys Mary Sue's. Yes, now I know there's generally a lot of hate in the art community and the OC community regarding Mary Sue's, but today this video is not going to be exactly like the other videos people have seen, which is bashing on people's creations and bashing in general just on Mary Sue's. As a matter of fact, we're going to give positivity to things that are potentially going to be Mary Sue material.
Okay, sure, there are videos of people bashing other people's characters, but I've also seen people critique people's characters, aka they critique the character and give the artist advice on how to improve the character. Isn't that positivity, since it shows they care about the artist improving on their character development? And you sure you know what a Mary Sue is? The term Mary Sue is used for fan characters, not original characters. Honestly, I don't know why people get those two mixed up. Original character is a character an artist creates from scratch and is not involved in any fandom nor universe, while a fandom character is a character an artist creates for a fandom, like a video game, anime, cartoon series, etc. Okay, now that you know the difference, you're gonna see why this video falls flat on its face.
You might be wondering, why would you ever glorify Mary Sue's?
Yeah, I'm wondering that too,
really
since you shouldn't glorify
glorifying
bad
them,
character development.
I have my own personal stance on original characters and in general just any art, which is that the artist has full range of their creation abilities and they should be allowed to do whatever they really want with their own creations. Whether or not people agree with it or not, that's a controversial topic, and that's kind of up to the individual themselves.
Yeah, I had a feeling you didn't know what Mary Sue is. And how the hell is it a controversial topic? Mary Sue itself isn't a controversial topic. I've seen artists discuss more about bases than Mary Sue's. The term Mary Sue came from the fact people create cliche and badly developed characters in the fandom, hence why there's so many different versions of what a Mary Sue is. Now, Mary Sue's do share some traits like being overpowered and having no weakness and everyone falling in love with the character just because. But those aren't Mary Sue traits, those are just bad character development. Not everyone is perfect. Sure, we'd like to think we have no flaws, but in reality, we do. And not everyone is going to fall in love with you just because you're pretty. If you are a succubus or some type of demon that forces everyone to fall in love with you, I'd believe that. But if all you have is that you're beautiful, that's not a good enough reason. There should be more to it than that.
But it's just, lately I've seen a lot of people hating on Mary Sue's and just being like,
No, you can't make your OC that. That's way too overpowered. You have a Mary Sue. I'm not going to let you go into any roleplay groups. I'm not going to roleplay with you. You're just a piece of shit.
Well, if I was role-playing with someone who had an overpowered character that I couldn't beat, so I'm stuck in this endless loop of suffering and, no, you can't beat me because I'm too powerful, yeah, I'd be frustrated too. And there's a huge difference between critique and hate. Just because you critique someone's character doesn't mean you hate it. Hell, most people who critique a character just want to help the artist improve on their character development is all. What's so wrong with giving advice on character development?
about their OC, which is, most people are forgetting the reason why we actually have OCs in the first place, which is to have fun with them. Original creations are meant to inspire people to roleplay, inspire people to draw, and just in general, it's meant for the creator to like their character and have fun with it. So who cares if they're Mary Sue? Who cares what they look like? Because once you get down to it, as long as the creator is having full fun with it, and as long as they're not like an overpowered god OC, by that I'm meaning like they're invincible, they're immortal, they have every single power, and you just can't roleplay with them, you know, those certain people. As long as they're not doing that, then I really don't understand why people are so up in arms about Mary Sue's, because it's kind of hateful, and in the DeviantArt community, I've noticed that a lot of people are just getting way too uptight about something that's meant to be fun, and that's the same with the cosplay community.
What? Fucking what? What does this have to do with cosplay? Please, scripts are your friends. Now, back to original characters, I agree, you should have fun with creating characters, but that doesn't mean your character is immune to criticism. And again, it's mostly fandom characters that get critique on for having bad character development.
Hey, boss.
And I know this is kind of getting a little bit long on the rambling part, but let's get started into the evidence that I have here of like...
Evidence? Oh, this will be good. And speaking of rambling, you continue to ramble after this. Seriously, what did scripts ever do to you?
Hey, boss.
And so without further ado, let's get into that. Alright, so first off, we're gonna get started talking about this this very interesting chart that I came across when I googled Mary Sue. And on the top you can kind of see it's like how to tell if your character is Mary Sue.
Oh boy, that was a good one. I mean, come on, this isn't actually your evidence, and you aren't going to try to argue the points on this chart because it's obviously a joke, right? Right?
Is your character female? If they are, they're a fucking Mary Sue. Now, I don't understand that one because, why does it matter what the character's gender is? If the character is automatically female, apparently it's Mary Sue. That's a little bit sexist against OCs, don't you think?
Oh, no. Oh, no. I'm in commentary hell. Help! Someone call 911! I obviously don't feel safe and I need an adult! Don't let them touch my no-no spot! But in all seriousness, you're serious, right? How could you not tell from the get-go this was a joke? Yes, because every female character from a video game, movie, cartoon, etc. is a Mary Sue because vagina. Instead of saying,
This is sexist because not every female character is a Mary Sue,
your response should be, that seems a little extreme. Maybe this chart is a joke and making fun of the whole Mary Sue aspect. But nope, throw all logic out the window and let's debunk a fucking joke. Okay, buddy. Now, my only question is, are you sure you're not from Tumblr? Kinda sounds like you're from Tumblr.
Now the next one says, does he use a sword to fight? If he does, he's a Mary Sue. Now I really don't understand that because, I understand that a lot of characters use sword fighting and it's like, just in general, like, you know what I mean. For example, Yukanda from D. Gray Man. Apparently that's like, okay to have Yukanda as long as they're in like an anime, but if it's not an anime, then it's Mary Sue because an anime character fights with a sword, and that's already done a lot, so unless it's an anime and an actual production company making it, then oh my god, Mary Sue, because you use a sword. But that's not how real life works. Like, there are so many people out there that use swords to this day and age to fight, and there's even competitions. There are like, I'm not for sure if it's in the Olympics, because I don't follow the Olympics, but there's like competitions like that that are out there for sword fighting, and there's different types of sword fighting, and it's just, in general, that's a very hateful claim to make, because just because a character has a sword and they use a sword to fight doesn't really make them a Mary Sue. It's really down to the originality of the character in general.
Ah, yes, I remember back in World War II when our armies fought the Nazis with their double-bladed swords, and our army decapitated Hitler's head and raised their swords up in victory, and only then did we learn that this is what freedom looks like. This is what America is made out of. Seriously, you're making it sound like owning a sword or sword fighting is a common thing. I could go outside right now and I'd see two guys dueling it out like they're in an anime. Sure, cosplayers and competitive people who do sword fighting wield a sword, but it's not a common thing you see. As for the Olympics having sword fighting as a sport, that's fencing. Fencing is different than all those sword fighting scenes you see in an anime. Man, first scripts and now research, what did they ever do to you? Also, forgive me if I'm wrong, but isn't an anime character having a sword as a weapon is a cliche? You're right, a lot of anime characters have swords as weapons, so when someone creates a fan character from an anime Having the character using the sword as a weapon would be cliche and maybe even a Mary Sue trait. I don't know. To any person who's in the anime fandom, let me know if I'm right. I'll gladly own up to this mistake if I'm not. But that still doesn't take away the fact that sword fighting isn't as common as you think. Now, as I was saying about World War II...
Hey, boss.
And then they ask a funny question, is he a Mary Sue?
Wow, it's almost like the chart
like,
is
no
telling
matter
you,
what
hey,
you
I'm a
pick,
joke
it's
that you
gonna
took
be
seriously
Mary
and spent
Sue.
5 minutes debunking.
Like if you say,
Way to
no,
go,
my
champ!
character isn't a Mary Sue, yes he is, so he's a Mary Sue. And if you say yes, then he's a Mary Sue. Like I don't understand that. This person in general is just trying to say that every single OC out there is a Mary Sue. And I can agree with that point, which is that there's not much originality these days. Like everything is spawned off of an idea. Same with art styles, same with people drawing. You infer off of art styles, you learn. And there's nothing that's totally unique in this world because if you think of something, more than likely somebody else has already thought of that, at least 10 years prior to you. Like it's just, ideas aren't unique anymore. Maybe back in like the 1600s where people weren't really that creative with their imagination and didn't have the tools, and yeah, this would be very interesting to see all these ideas pop forward, but once again, it's kind of not really easy to have an original character because everything is just thought of already.
What the fuck are you talking about? Maybe back in the 1600s... What? Dude, I didn't know there was gonna be history test today. I didn't study! I'm pretty sure anime, movies, fanfictions, and original characters weren't really a thing back in the 1600s. In fact, what was around the 1600s? Well, apparently diseases like smallpox and the bubonic plague. Ooh. But either way, Shakespeare and Romeo and Juliet are #1 original characters. Anyone else who says so is just a hater.
I actually just realized how long this video is going to be and exactly what you guys are listening to and just me rambling.
Really?
And,
I haven't noticed.
I'm going to say that this is probably going to be cut up into 3 parts, which is that I'm going to cut up this and end it right here.
Says they're gonna end it right here, yet spends another minute or 2 rambling. And as for part 2 and 3, yeah, I'm not gonna watch them, because it has nothing to do with Mary Sue's. If you go into the description, they describe what part 2 and 3 will look like. Part 2 will include a rant about some stuff they googled online. This has nothing to do with Mary Sue's. Now, before you say, oh, they probably are googling stuff about Mary Sue's, they did not specify that and just said they'll be ranting about some stuff they googled online. In part 3, however, they will be critiquing people's OCs. Again, I don't see what it has to do with Mary Sue because all I see that video being is, you get a gold star, and you get a gold star, everyone gets a gold star because all your characters are perfect and no one can say otherwise because cliche and bad character development doesn't exist. Hooray! And me. Now I'm gonna go on to my final thoughts. What is it now? Oh, it's a comment left from the creator. At least it came with a narrator, so I don't have to read this whole thing. Proceed.
Please read this. I'm going to read deleted comments that obviously didn't take time to read the comment section before running their mouth. As I've had a lot of people spam repetitive things and get angry over something that could have been avoided if only they opened their eyes.
Oh. Oh, this is gonna be good.
OMG, the chart was probably a joke. I actually answered this comment before. I will quote it. Yeah, the chart probably was satirical, a joke, but a lot of people actually use that example for how not to make a Mary Sue. I'm seeing Tumblr blogs dedicated to bashing Mary Sues, using it as a serious example. Plus, it's not going to be the only chart mentioned. Part 2 is going to have better examples. I just ran out of time for this video. I want to split it up into smaller videos, because I don't want to render a 45-minute long video and upload it. It's just easier for sections.
Alright, so if you knew it was a joke, why didn't you mention that in your video? You spent the majority of the video debunking a chart you knew was a joke and never mentioned once that you knew it was a joke. And you're gonna be deleting comments of people calling out the obvious flaw in your video just because you answered one comment? Look, I don't like people repeating words, but deleting comments pointing out your flaws in the video makes it sound like you can't take criticism. If you wanted to avoid that, you should have made it clear you knew it was a joke. As for those Tumblr blogs you mentioned, those blogs are trolls. Those blogs go after young artists and insult their character, calling it a Mary Sue, to get a reaction out of the user, and guess what? It works every time and people fall for it. This chart was the only one you showed in this video, and as for part 2, you did not specify in your description you're going to be showing more charts. Your exact words were, part 2 will include a rant about some stuff I googled. It says nothing about Mary Sue's. Hell, even in your comment you don't go into detail. All you say is, Part 2 is going to have better examples. Better examples of what? Charts that you take seriously when they're obviously a joke?
The God thing, that is a Mary Sue. I don't know if you think you realize what counts as a Mary Sue. I realize what a Mary Sue is. The point of this video is literally to tell everyone that no character is original anymore. Everything is a Mary Sue. Yes, it's annoying to roleplay or see an overpowered character with no flaws, but ultimately, there is such thing as ignoring it and treating others how you want to be treated. 2. Blocking the people so you don't have to see it. 3. Leaving your community because no matter what you say, there will always be Mary Sues. If you're so hurt about it and get so upset over that little OC, you clearly can't handle our community, and your toxicity is only hurting our community anymore. I'm not saying to stop drawing. I'm saying to stop publicly posting it to art sites. Browsing said art sites with which you dislike us hosted. What fucking sense does that make? 3 options. Pick what you want to do. Option 4 should not be to attack and harass a person about the OC to the point where they leave DeviantArt. Which is not what we're doing, by the way. Like I've seen so many artists do to the younger community that makes OCs.
Lovely thanks to my friend Deidara for getting me to read this Shakespearean comment.
You hear that, guys? You're not allowed to voice your opinion about someone's character. Instead, you should leave the art community because your toxicity is only hurting the community more. Wow. I think the thing that's more scary than that is the fact you can't count. You say there are only 3 options, yet you give us a 4th option. You should really read your comment before you post it, sweetie. Let's start with the roleplay section. Yes, it is annoying to roleplay or see an overpowered character with no flaws. Why can't we share our opinion to the user about how unfair it is that they get to win every time and get to be able to do whatever the hell they want? Why not give them tips and advice on how to improve their character? But nope, instead you have to suck it up, block them, or leave the art community because you and your toxic words are doing nothing but hurting the art community. What was it that you said in your video in the beginning?
You might be wondering, why would you ever glorify Mary Sue's? I'm not really glorifying them.
Yeah, so instead of glorifying Mary Sue's, you're defending them and telling people if you can't handle it, then leave the art community. I'm not saying to stop drawing. No, instead you're saying, stop voicing your opinion and critiquing people's characters. You're like those people who say, if you don't like the post, then scroll past it. Why? Are we not allowed to share or even voice our opinion on the post? Just because we don't like someone's characters doesn't mean we shouldn't be allowed to voice our opinion on it. As for someone attacking and harassing a person about their OC, I agree, they shouldn't do that. But you should also remember there is a fine line between harassment and critique. And if a user leaves DeviantArt all because people critique their character and they refuse to change it, it just shows they aren't ready for a site like DeviantArt. If you can't stand criticism, then DeviantArt is not for you. Alright, now I can go on to my final thoughts. Honestly, what do I need to say about this video? You obviously didn't know what a Mary Sue was, you took a joke seriously, well, apparently not, but you didn't mention that until you had to leave a comment because so many people were pointing out that flaw. You talk about stuff that has nothing to do with Mary Sue's, and instead of glorifying them, you defend them, saying, nothing is original anymore, and if you don't like their character that much, then leave the art community. This video was bad from the start, and your comment did nothing but show damage control and how unprepared you were for the backlash you got. My advice is to write a script. Rambling is never the way to go since you talked about stuff that had nothing to do with the topic at hand, and do more research before you talk about said topic. Trust me, it'll save your ass in the end, and be prepared for criticism. It's best to own up to your mistake than trying to defend yourself, especially when it could have been easily fixed. Also, you should watch your videos before you upload them, and take your time on stuff because this was nothing but a mess bound to blow up in your face. Phew, I need a drink after that. And since I'm done, I can go back to what I was doing before hell decided to freeze over. Anyways, I'm Madison the Cat, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know what you thought of it, and I'll be seeing you lovely freaks later.